All right, guys, what's going on? And today we're gonna go ahead and finish up this puppy right here, and then we are gonna start on another project that we got, which is a 67 C10, and we're gonna start taking it apart today. And basically I have got a mountain of parts. I've got wheels, I've got disc brake conversion, I've got lowering kit, front suspension, rear, everything. I've got interior, which obviously at the moment it ain't got nothing. I've got all window tracks, I've got window seals, door rubbers, and basically every single thing just about for it. So like I said, we're gonna go ahead and take that thing apart. La mamalona C10. Ya le dimos su madre. We're gonna resto the frame, take the bed off, basically clean everything up, interior, make a nice patina paint job, wheels, tires, brakes, you name it, all the work. So in the meantime, we're working. We're gonna go ahead and take the bed off.
Agárralo con la mano, it's okay.
Cállate la boca. ¿Cómo que agárralo con la mano?
Ready?
Dale. Ahorita lo agarramos con unas pinzas, güey. ¿La suelta? Le puedo pegar a la caja, le puedo pegar al shop, pero al barbecue no le podemos pegar. Corta la barra y le dejamos esa madre ahí, nomás lo amarramos bien y soltamos todo el murero. Si quieres, suéltalo de aquí, mira. De estos dos. De estos que los de abajo no los tienen. Alright, guys, so we got the 67 completely torn apart, and it is in pieces, like literally in pieces. So this is what we got left. We've got a bare frame, we've got the front end on one side, the bed on the other, the cab is over there in the front, and then we'll be able to paint everything. We'll be able to put all the lowering suspension on it, the cross member for the transmission, get the motor mounts for the LS. We've got to change the posi, of course. Get a posi unit for it. I do have the axles, I do have the brakes, I do have all that good stuff. Same thing for the front. Got the springs, got the shocks, got the lowering spindles, got the 5-lug conversion. Pretty much get this thing ready so we can have it all painted up and dollied up real nice before we actually start putting all this stuff back in it. I do need to pressure wash everything, obviously. We're gonna go ahead and get this thing pressure washed for now because it's got a bunch of dirt and grime and all of the above. So you can see it's got a lot of old dirt, grime. So let's go ahead and get to work on it, get busy. Actually cleaned up pretty good. Some cross member I really didn't get cleaned up. It's still got some grease in it, but we're not going to use that cross member. I'm going to cut it out, take the rivets off, and actually remove that cross member, so we're not going to use it. So why clean it? As far as everything else did pretty good. Got the frame completely painted. I still need to paint the rear end because, well, I still need to work on it. We need to put a posi unit, gears, and all that good stuff, brakes and stuff like that, axles. So that's the reason I haven't painted. Once I do all that, then I'll go ahead and get the rear end painted and change the back springs to the lower end springs, remove a cross member that used to be the old one for the transmission. And then obviously I need to go ahead and get new ball joints, upper and lower, and a couple little things so I can go ahead and put this thing back together. Back inside the shop, it's all nicely painted as best as it can be, but it looks pretty good. I mean, it's not rusty no more. Everything underneath, on top, side, inside, out, everything. And I'm about to change all the ball joints, upper, lowers, and of course inner and outer tie rod ends, because the spindle that I got on it is like a 80 something model from a square body C10. So obviously the ball joints are not the same. I found that out. 67 to 70 they're the same, and 71, 72 they're different, or 71 to 87 are the same, something like that. All right, so we have the front suspension just about buttoned up, everything put on here, but our brake calipers didn't work. There's two different types, and this spindle is from a square body. That way we can make it a 5-lug conversion. I'm gonna go ahead and proceed and get the backs done. Listen to the 40 on it, hopefully it'll loosen up. The camera fell. Oh, the bolt broke. Yeah. Wow. Good. That's a big difference. Last night I did the rotors, the front shocks, rear springs, brake lines. We had some wrong tie rod ends, so they're gonna go ahead and get me the correct tie rod ends today, and then the correct brake calipers, because there's two different types. I also went ahead and did, right now I had to trim the frame a little bit right here for these mounts from Speedway Motors. So I had to trim just a little bit, not a whole lot, 1/4 inch, both sides. Alright, so we got the cross member done. Well, semi done, because it's just kind of, it's still got some movement, because until we put the motor and transmission, we'll be able to see where exactly it's going to land, and then we'll bolt everything up. But it actually is a pretty nice piece. There's a lot of adjustment on it. Speedway Motors bracketry, which is the motor mounts, the cross member, and basically everything you need to do the swap on one of these C10s. Pretty nice, comes with all the hardware and everything, so you know, shout out to them guys. It's actually a nice product. I'm gonna go ahead and get this motor, basically add a camshaft to it, double springs from Texas Speed, push rods, and we are actually going with, now this motor is a 5.3, we're actually going with their Torker V2 on a 110, 232, 234. That's gonna definitely wake it up. We've got a posi unit for it. It is a 12 bolt. We've got all the axles, the brakes for the back, and we have a Circle D 4200 converter for it as well. And check these wheels out. These are the wheels that are going to be going in 18 by 8s and 18 by 10.5 in the rear. We are doing some long tube headers also. We're going to make it loud because it is for the burnout pit. So for the most part, today we will have motor, converter, transmission put in, tightened up, everything all together, and then we will get the cab and all that kind of stuff ready to start. Once this is on there, we'll start putting the cab and everything else that goes with it. seems like it's spray bed.
They do the same job.
Oh yeah, but looks like it's pretty good.
Pretty damn good.
I still need to do that, but I need to paint that with I need to sand it down and paint the tubs all satin black. What you talking about? Oh, the cross member. Oh yeah, it's got a lot of bolts. Alright guys, so we got the transmission in place. We got some brake calipers, finally. And well, I don't know what the hell's going on back there, but there's a lot of shit going on back there. Tranny is there, converter is tight, motor is tight, all the cross member, everything's tight. And I am going to finish up doing the brakes. So you can see we've got disc brakes in the back with the 5-lug conversion. We've got all new hardware, brake lines, everything on it. Shocks, springs, lowering springs, basically everything is done. Transmission's bolted up, motors bolted up. Waiting on the headers. The headers will be here in the next couple of days, and then obviously also the pulley with the ICT, and then all the Holley components, intake, and everything is already here. So I'm gonna be swapping that up next week and getting everything, getting the cap put on next week, getting the bed put on next week, and also getting the front end put on next week. All I got to do is paint the inside of the engine bay and a couple other things, and then we'll be able to start assembling everything. New tie rod ends, inner, outer tie rod ends, the adjuster sleeve, new ball joints. I mean, every single thing on this is going to be, or is new. Complete transformation. So this thing is definitely going to be a badass pickup. So like I said, it's gonna ride pretty damn good though, because hell, it's got all brand new shit. It's got better stuff than Mater. That's a shame. So we got last night, and I forgot to post it, or I forgot to video it, because I got so busy cleaning everything that I was doing in the cab, as you saw. And then later on I had actually some help, and we actually decided to put the cab on the chassis because it is pretty heavy, and it's one of the parts that it's a little bit more time consuming. It's more of a pain in the ass. So we do have the cab on. I'm gonna show you guys. And there she is with the cab. Everything's already done and painted. The rear end's painted. The brake lines are done. I did get some new brake lines that goes from the hard line to the rears. So obviously now I just need to go ahead and get the bed on, and I'm waiting on the bolts. The bolts haven't come in for the bed, but that's no big deal. So we got all that stuff done. I am waiting for the carpet. The carpet will be here in this couple of days. I can proceed to do the shifter after I do the carpet. That way I can get everything mounted where it needs to go. Motor, transmission, everything's in it. Cab is tied. I am going to do some painting inside the cab because, as you can see, it looks kind of shitty. So I need to paint that. I need to sand it down, paint it, tape everything up, make it look real nice. Everything in the front end's done. I do have a brand new pulley already here. Bracketry for the alternator. Headers are going to be here this week. We've got a Sniper EFI system for it. All the MSD stuff. We've got wheels, tires are going to be here later on today as well. So it's actually coming along. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going to go ahead and bolt up the intake on it, bolt up the carburetor on it, and then wait for some other stuff to come in. Like I said, the carpet and a couple other things. That way I can do all the wiring, and at least that stuff is done. I do have a radiator coming also from Champion Radiators, which is a 4-core, which is their 1,000 horsepower one, which obviously that's not going to make 1,000 horsepower, but it's going to be burning out for continuous time in the burnout pit, so it definitely needs to have a big radiator to cool it down. Alright guys, so we actually got some parts in for this one. We got the carpet in. The carpet's pretty badass. It's the original loop carpet that they call. I already put the tank in there. I got the gas tank. It ain't got no gas in it, but I got the gas tank in it. Still need a paint back here, but I think we can probably put the carpet. And I may have to notch it for the shifter. Also, I've done the shifter. On there. ¿Queda ahí en la orilla? Give or take? Así. Does it follow like this line right here? Yeah. Or maybe a little bit forward. Oh yeah, it does. Okay. What do we got? We got a bunch of stuff done on the 67. I'm gonna show you. So in the meantime and in between, because I ran out of space on the SD card, so I had to delete and all that. But anyhow, I've got the interior done. Carpet is done. I'm waiting on like the ignition switch and a couple of little things, but for the most part, cleaned up all the interior, clear coated the dashboard and left the patina look on it. Did a little bit of spray paint in the backside because it was kind of like white and, you know, looking different color. And then cleared everything on it. The rooftop, put a new, whatever you call it, dash pad on it. Painted the, what is it? Painted the, hell, I don't even know what it's called. The glove box. There you go. My brain is, blah. The glove box, the gauges, got all that stuff nice. Factory ones just cleaned up, painted, clear coated, all that kind of stuff. We got a seat on. We got a carpet on, as you saw that I was putting the carpet. Got the shifter done, and I need to proceed and get the doors clear coated, which I am going to do that today. But today's pretty exciting. We're going to put the bed back on. We've got fluid in the rear end and stuff like that. But for the most part, let me go ahead and show you the inside of it. Got all brand new rubbers on it. Got a carpet installed. Got a badass seat, as you can see, factory type seat. Got a nice shifter there. Carpet came out really nice. It's just a factory carpet. I still need to clear coat all this stuff, but I need to do all the window tracks and everything that I do have, all brand new stuff. Roof clear coated. This clear coat, as you can see, it gives it like a darker look. I got to put a new switch on it, a couple of things. Of course, I'm going to change the steering wheel. In the back, obviously, we painted the back to match, and didn't go too crazy, but just kind of gave it that old school patina look. Didn't sanded it down to where it's super smooth. Just kind of blended it all in and clear coated all that, made it match. But for the most part, all that stuff done. It came out real nice. I do have new door handles that just came in today. New bolts for the bed. We got all the brakes done. Have to make some new brake lines on it. New alternator. Got a carb on it. Waiting on the headers. So we'll get all that stuff done and put on before we do the front end, I am going to clear coat all this stuff as well, just to kind of make it look good. Once we put the front end, we won't be able to get to it. And then at the end, obviously we're going to clear coat the whole thing, give it that nice patina look. Everything in the back is done, and we've got the wheels with tires. So we got a nice set of 285 35 18s for a 10.5 wheel. Makes it look real nice. It's got a nice thread pattern. So they're rotational. So we're going to mount these puppies on right now. And then obviously in the front we got a 245 40 18. It's a little skinnier, but it also gives it that nice square look. So we will go ahead and get these on and show you guys how it looks. Alright, so we're bleeding the brakes. Open them up so they can gravity bleed for a little bit. Ah, sí tiene chingo de espacio. Alright, vamos a sacarla para afuera. Alright, so we're going to wire this thing. This thing is pretty straightforward on the wiring. It's got a couple power leads. It's got a fuel pump deal. One ignition and just a couple plug and play stuff. So alright, we're gonna go ahead and get the front clip on. ¿Qué falta adentro? Me falta acomodar todas las cajas. Ya tiene el starter, ya tiene el que es el key on para el starter. No me falta el frente, ¿verdad, güey? Ok, vamos a poner el frente. Pongámoslo. Y los headers que nunca llegaron. Ah, necesito hacerle el throttle también, güey. We got the truck all put together. All the wiring is done. And transmission cooler, it's done. Everything in the engine bay, water lines, alternator, battery, all main powers. Basically every single thing is done. Brakes are bled, which actually the brakes gave us a little bit of a hard time because the back ones just could not or would not bleed right. Even though we got all brand new lines, I went ahead and ordered all brand new stainless lines. That way I don't have any issues. And yet again, I had some issues. But I'm gonna change the spring in the back and actually lower it another 2 or so inches so it'll match the front. The front looks really good, but the back looks a little bit too tall. There you have it. Still gotta put the light bulb. Don't worry about that. Engine bay's done, headers are done. Monday it's also going to the exhaust shop. So get the exhaust put on it, get the coils put on it, and we'll fire it up. So the front sits really good, the back sits a little bit too high. So it needs to be maybe 2 inches lower in the back, give or take. So it's a little bit too tall. It's got a lot of rake, so definitely needs to be lowered. Got some clear coat on the doors. Got all brand new handles, window tracks. As you can see, every single thing. Gauges look good, carpet looks good, interior looks great. And gauges are working. Now, I didn't put no Dakota digital gauges on it, but for the most part, there you go. We've got the boxes over there. So last night I got all the wiring done. Well, all the key-ons and everything, and actually put a program in the computer. The transmission's got a program in it. We got the coils done today, and we are pouring some transmission fluid into it. The only thing missing is the drive shaft. Other than that, everything else is done. It has just a basic startup tune and open header.
Los tapones del intake se los pusiste, ¿no? No, hay que taparlo.
Ahí tengo manguera, ahorita le corro el vacuum que va para el intake y poner el tapón. So for the most part, put some tranny oil. Like I said, everything else is done. We'll fire it up and we'll see how shit sounds. Alright, so we fired up, so I gotta connect the fans so we actually can keep it running. 67, 5.3, 4060, built tranny, built rear end, nice camshaft, Holley Sniper EFI, MSD, timing controller, interior, wheels, tires, brakes, new brake lines. I mean, everything that you can think of is new. Radiator, E-fans, you name it, the whole 9 yards. 4200 stall converter, Circle D. This thing actually turned out really, really nice. Got a nice drop to it. It was a little high in the back, but I actually ended up lowering it a bit more. In the back, it's got a tune-up right now in it, drive shaft in it. The only thing I'm missing is go and do the exhaust, which I want to go ahead and go get that done today. We're going to put a nice exhaust on it. But for the most part, you can go ahead and take a look at it. It actually turned out really, really nice. I need to put my other headlight because it looks kind of weird. And then we're going to do some shine juice on it, just like Vice Grip Garage says, to make this thing actually shine pretty good. So under the hood, it's got a 5.3. It's got a long tube header, stainless. Everything got painted. All the back, we still kept the original numbers there on the firewall. Everything got cleared. The rest of it got satin black painted. All the tubs, the core support, you name it. It's got a nice transmission cooler, real nice. Radiator with dual fans, all new accessories. And we went with a Holley intake, carburetor style intake. And actually a Holley Sniper, 4-barrel. It's got 4 injectors, 4 100-pound injectors, actually. So they got 2 different types. This is good for 650 horsepower. We didn't go with the 1200 horsepower one, which got 8 injectors. So we figured that this is more than plenty what this motor is going to produce, and it should be okay. It actually gives it that old school look, you know, because every single C10 out there that you see, not all of them, but I would say 90% of them have obviously either the Holley high ram or the factory intake or some other sort. So I wanted to go with the old school look where you open the hood and actually looks carburetor still, but it's actually EFI. So it actually turned out really, really nice. All right, let's fire this thing up. Open header. Let's try to make a burnout.